Hello, ladies and gentlemen from across the world from all times, be it you're watching the recording or here live. Welcome to our Boss Ladies Summit. It is such a pleasure to have you with us and thank you for coming. We've got my legendary friend Christina Naber with us already. She's an incredible lady and we love her work, and I'm sure the other panelists are in later. But to be honest, whether the other panelists arrive or not, I don't mind too much because Christina is an absolute gem. So today we're going to be talking about work-life balance. Now, I think it's a complete con job and a scam, but let's hear it from Christina Naber. Let's get straight into it. Christina, welcome. How are you today? Maybe it's just you and me doing the Boss Lady Summit. Please unmute and say hello. What's happening?
Hi, Ed. How are you today?
Oh, it's so good having you with us. And what has been happening in your world?
Oh goodness, quite a bit. I'm here as we speak. My daughter is in the hospital. My 22-year-old daughter is going to be giving birth to a baby girl here shortly. So I am sitting next to her, and hence the noise you may hear in the background. Forgive me, but yeah, always something going on in my life, Ed.
Yeah, but she's not going to give birth during this live stream, just to be sure, right?
Never know. You never know. But I don't.
Now, I got to bring it. We've got Georgina Orchard with us. This is Georgina, how you doing, my friend? What's happening, Georgina?
Good morning. I've just come back from the snow yesterday. So, big trip. Looking a little bit tired, but good. All good to be back. I got to see the family last night, and I'm going to see my daughter play in her grand final AFL game today. So that's pretty exciting.
Oh, it's all happening. And just so as well, I know this is a Boss Lady Summit, and big hello to Lassie who created it. It's actually Father's Day in Australia, a lot of parts of the world. So there we go. But that is irrelevant because this is called the Boss Ladies Summit, not the Boss Dad Summit. And oh my God, we've got Tamara Bettram. Tamara Bettram's with us. She had a baby 4 weeks ago. Tamara, congratulations. So there we go. There we go. So here we are. We're going to talk about work-life balance, and I'm just going to go straight on in. I think work-life balance is a complete scam. I don't think it works at all, and I've never, ever believed in it. Now, I'm probably totally wrong, but before we get into the fun of it, we've got Sarah Polyakov with us. Can we wave to Sarah? We love you, Sarah. And Sarah Polyakov's amazing. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with legendary Christina Naber, who is a legend. And then we're going to go Georgina and Sarah. So Christina, are you ready to go? Your daughter's not giving birth just yet? Hopefully not. There we go. It'll be a great live stream if she was. It'd be very interesting.
Pardon me. No, she's not giving birth. Not quite yet, Ed. Not yet. We're just waiting here patiently.
Oh, there we go. Now, Christina, I think work-life balance is a total scam. I've never believed in it. Christina, please tell us what you think about work-life balance. Disagree with me, agree with me. Tell us what you think. Then we're going to hear from Georgina and Sarah Polyakov, who rock so much.
I am going to be all ears on this one, Ed. I don't have a lot of wonderful insight into work-life balance because I have a hard time adjusting to it myself. So, I'm kind of with you on this one.
Okay, so just tell me very quickly then, Christina, why did it not work for you? Why did work-life balance not work for you? Just tell us that, and then we're going to go to Georgina and Sarah and tear it up.
Perhaps I can blame it on my neurodivergence on this one because I am ADD and I get focused in on one thing. So whether it be my daughter, my other daughter, or my son, or my work, I just I have a hard time switching gears, and not sure, really not sure.
As I agree with you, don't they say that multitasking is a bad thing? I remember in the 90s they were telling us all to multitask, and now they're telling us it's a wrong thing. What happened there? I don't know.
Funny. That's funny.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Ed. Sorry to interrupt.
Christina, we'll come right back to you. We'll leave you with your daughter. Let's go to Georgina Orchard. Georgina Orchard, how are you, my friend? Please agree, disagree. Tell us what you think about work-life balance. We've obviously started on a real negative. but I want to hear what you think. And make sure you hit that unmute key too, Georgina, so we can hear your powerful voice.
That's always a good tip, Ed, hitting the unmute key. I think work-life balance is really about choice. What choices are we making? You know, if you work in corporate or something, and some of you have, and you work for someone else, you have a deadlines or you've got like a schedule to do. But when you work for yourself, you have a choice. And I guess it also comes down to funding. I guess if you need to work harder to resource your lifestyle, then you will work harder, you know, but it's all, everything that we do is a choice in life. So if you choose work-life balance and, you know, that works for you and you say, well, I'm only going to work these hours and then the rest is family, but it also comes down to your values. So are you living your values? So if you choose work-life balance and, you know, you're actually, the life part of it is all your values. So for example, if you're spending time with family, doing the fun things, doing what lights you up, that sort of stuff, and then have a bit of balance as to, you know, the work part. If you need to work, then it works. But I guess if you go into small business, for example, and I'm going to sort of plug what I do here in a way, it's about sort of time management and how do I put the resources in place so that I do have some work-life balance?
Ooh, great insights. In other words, you if I can get your answer, you haven't exactly endorsed work-life balance, but you're not exactly panning it as well. Is that a fair way of interpreting your viewpoint, Georgina?
Yeah, I think so. Kind of like it's up to you whether what lifestyle you choose. Like for example, I was on this on the ski lift with one of the a guy on the weekend, and he's moved down to Ulladulla, which is in New South Wales, down on the coast. And he used to live on the northern beaches, and he said, you know, I don't have to work as hard anymore. I should actually have more time for my family because it's not as expensive to live down there. He said it's changing, but it's still not as expensive as Sydney. So, for example, that's an example of work-life balance.
I like it. So in other words, it's more in your way. I love your interpretation. It's more doing what you want, your balance. Is that what you're saying, Georgina?
Yeah, that's right.
Ooh, I like it because that brings me to the key point because I've always had work-life balance told to me on how to live it. So there we go. That's probably the issue. Oh my God. Georgina, round of applause to you, Georgina. Love your work. Now we're going to bounce to Sarah Polyakov. But just before that, we've got Master Coach Sonia who's just come in. Master Coach Sonia, how are you, my friend, very quickly?
I'm doing awesome. I've been running around like a crazy person trying to get here. And I'm here.
There we go. Welcome. We'll come back to you, Master Coach Sonia. So please enjoy. We're going to hear. Oh, and just very quickly, we've got Loretta Remy who's coming. Can we wait for Loretta Remy? Loretta, we love you. Very quickly, Loretta, how you doing, my friend?
I am doing great. How is everybody doing today?
Oh, good to see you. Now, what we're going to do is, if you can all, just to keep the noise down, if you can all keep your microphones on mute when you're not speaking, that'll be awesome. We're going to hear from Sarah Polyakov. Sarah, good seeing you. How have you been, my friend? What's happening?
Well, I made it. I'm happy about that. I made it.
Oh.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Sending you many blessings.
Oh, great to see you. Now, Sarah, work-life balance, please tell us what you think of it. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's true? Do you think it's false? Give us a monologue on it.
Okay, I will say that it is a sociological construct. So it's highly dictated by the culture in which you live. And in Western culture, so in America, for example, it's all about work here. Europe, not so much. They have more balance, I would say, in their culture. So it's not all Western culture, but let's say Australia, I think, Canada, America, places like this It's all about work. It's all about, can you climb that corporate ladder? Can you make your business more successful this year than last year? It seems like we're always chasing something, and that very much feels like a cultural construct to me. So I ask myself, can we have work-life balance when these cultural constructs are actually operating in the background? So I've just thrown out a question, basically. It's a rhetorical one.
And that's funny. And reacting to what Georgina said before, that's been my view, because whenever I've had work-life, I mean this more when I was an employee, mind you, but when I had work-life balance, it was always applied to me saying, hi, Edward, we believe in work-life balance around here, and this is how work-life balance works, and you need to follow that perfectly or you're a bad employee. So I think I agree with you. I've probably been given the wrong form of work-life balance. I'm quite dark on it, Sarah.
I'm just throwing out an answer. I don't know the answer either. I say we're learning. In life, we're just all learning.
Oh, there we go. Sarah, can we get up for Sarah Polyakov? Sarah, we love you, my friend. Great to have you with us. And I just want to react to some of our fans. We've got some great comments. If you just come in, smash that like, share, and comment. And we've got Izzy Jazufi with us, and it says this: I think it depends where in business and life you are. And the key is that you've got to be careful if you're being distracted from what you really want. Paraphrasing her, well said. We've got Yasmin with us. Yasmin says this: whatever you do, take care of your health and give equal life to your family, which is fantastic. AJ Mishra, welcome. Great seeing you. Tamara Bertram says, setting boundaries and scheduling family time, not making that family time negotiable. So boundaries have come up too, which is fascinating. I love where you're going. Now, let's hear from Master Coach Sonia, who's amazing. Then we're going to hear from Loretta Remy. Master Coach Sonia, you are a legend. And I have to say it, have you been working out? Because you're all looking, it looks like you've been working out. You're getting all slim and cut, Master Coach Sonia, if you don't mind saying.
I've been swimming a lot, and I've been trying this new it's a place here called Cryo Ease. They have a big box that you go into, and it's like a freezer, and then there's another bed that I go on in, and it's like a red light therapy bed, and it helps focus on areas of your body. Like if you're having a lot of pain, it will help focus on that. If you're trying to lose weight, you can choose that option, and so and plus all my Monat wellness products that I've been using, which I love.
We love it. Well, I want to do it. I think after seeing you in action, I want to jump in that freezer and shine a red light on me and watch all the fat dissolve before my eyes. You're looking great, Master Coach Sonia, and welcome. Now, Master Coach Sonia, you have a lot of experience in this issue. We're talking about work-life balance, and it seems like none of us here are really into it. I know I started on a negative vibe, but tell us what you think about work-life balance. Feel free to disagree with us if you think it's awesome. We'd love to hear what you think.
I used to think that there was such a thing as work-life balance, but, since post-COVID, with our world, it's so fast-paced and everybody's trying to do so many things that, we're always going to be out of balance unless we're mindful of it and know how to balance out different areas of our life, whether it's work, whether it's, our family or responsibilities or financial, spiritual, there's all these different life domains that, when we get so busy and get tunnel vision, so to speak, then, we're not giving ourselves the grace to have a balance. And so I think, work-life balance used to be, having your work and personal life in harmony with each other. But I never, ever experienced that in my whole career. I don't think it's what it used to be. I think it's probably being redefined as we get into this next decade.
I'm with you, and I think it's been, in a way, it's been redefined and imposed on us. So the view I have of work-life balance is it's a hello, we've got a new friend. Is that Miss welcome? So cute. Hello. Yeah, but I'm just wondering. I feel like work-life balance has been imposed on us. What do you think of that, Master Coach Sonia?
Uh, Absolutely, because how many of you, when you're in the workplace, you're asked to take home your laptop, or you're given a laptop and they want you to answer, or on your phone, they want you to check emails or follow up on different projects. You know, that's not a balance. That's them imposing on your personal time to do these things. And so you're taking more time from yourself to give them more. And so I forgot what you said. My brain is go ahead.
Don't worry. Well, I got something funny to say to you and everyone before we hit up Loretta Remy, right? And here it is. I remember this funny one. I had this. We've all had toxic bosses, and you know I love bringing up the whole toxic thing, right? I can see Sarah Polyakov laughing. And one funny thing was I once had this. Wasn't actually a boss. It was more of like a peer in a company I worked at years ago. And I used to work weekends because I had a lot of work to do. And he always used to make fun of me for working weekends. Then one day he needed me to do something on the weekend, and I said to him, "Oh, but hang on, wait a second. I thought you don't want me working weekends." "I get it. It's okay to work weekends when it helps you."
Yes. Yes. That's what I was trying to get to. It's benefiting them, not you. They're putting themselves first. And
Well said. There we go. So it is a scam. Master Coach Sonia, we love your work. Master Coach Sonia, you are amazing. And I was going to say, Christina Nava's daughter is a legend. Hello to Christina Nava's daughter. Keep up the winning. We love you. Hello. Hello. Well, love you, winners. Now, guess what? It is Loretta Remy time. Loretta Remy is extremely dangerous, awesome, and amazing. And how are you, dangerous Loretta Remy? What's happening?
I'm doing very well. I'm very excited. Me and Sonia are getting ready for a trip to LA, and we're gonna have a good time and get all pumped up and everything. But as far as work-life balance, I think, like Sonia said, definitely corporate America. It's very hard and rare to find a true like work-life balance. But then again, when you get into your own businesses, I think it's kind of a different thing. And when I think of work-life balance, I don't technically mean, I don't think of like a 50-50 like split sort of thing. I could think of it more of like a teeter-totter. So there's times when family and personal life will take over. And then there's times when work will take over and everything, but it just kind of balances, it balances itself by going back and forth because, I just had end of month. And to me that's, the last 2 days or something can be very stressful when you're trying to hit certain goals and make sure you're getting to your numbers and everything, but they're my numbers and it's my business. And if I chose to not do it, I could not do it, but then I wouldn't be doing myself justice in my business that I want to maintain. So it's my choice there to kind of like be a little up in the business and maybe like not so much with the family. And then this weekend here in America, this is Labor Day weekend. So everybody has a 3-day weekend and tends to spend it with family and friends, doing different activities and so forth. So then maybe business, because it's the beginning of the month, maybe not so important, and we're focusing more on the family and friends part and everything. So I don't think it's a 50-50 split all the time. I think it kind of like just balances itself that way.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying because at the end of the day, we have different priorities at different times. But what I find is the whole work-life balancing. I think it seems like no one's hot on the topic of work-life balance, right? No one's hot on that concept at all, right? But I guess so at times we get busy and things happen and it throws everything else out of balance. So here's a very common example, neglecting our partners. There we go, right? We've all done it. We've all been accused of that. Perhaps we've done it to other people, right? And I find that's an interesting one because I remember, I'm talking like 20 years ago, I used to work all the time and all my girlfriends used to whinge at me for working all the time, not showing them enough attention. But they didn't mind when I paid for dinner or took them to nice places. So interesting. So it's funny, the whole work-life balance thing. Loretta Remy, I love your work. Now, legendary Christina Neighbours obviously running around. She's actually at hospital. Her daughter's going to give birth very soon. I saw, not during the live stream, right? But I'm sure she might be back in just later. But I want to go back to Georgina Orchard. I want to talk a bit about relationships and work-life balance. How does that fit in? Relationships and work-life balance. How does that all happen, Georgina?
I think that working for yourself is a little bit different. And I hear what Loretta was saying. Yes, it is a choice. So it comes back to what I was saying before. But when you're working within for somebody else, yes, if you're kind of like me, I kind of get very focused and want to get stuff done, and used to work in a sort of an environment where deadlines were, had to be adhered to, and quite stressful. So I would probably, I've been known to work to 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. And it doesn't do well for relationships, I must say. It kind of, yes, I hear you there. My ex-husband used to complain quite a lot that when I got focused on what I was doing, I would, that was the priority. Actually, I can remember a few years ago when I was the secretary for North Sydney Junior Netball, and I wanted to put in this sort of registration system, and it kind of work-life balance went out the window. and during the kids' holidays, and it was kind of the kids were complaining then, and I'm like, Mum, we want to go and do something. So, yeah, I think yes, it depends on what you're doing and your focus as well.
Oh, too funny, and I love it. Now I'm just going to react to some of the comments we've got, which are quite funny. Tamara Bertram, we go back many years. We actually met in Sydney a while ago. She goes, "I'm married to a workaholic." That is funny and awesome. And Sonia Bodro loves it. Great point, Loretta. And Tamara Bertram also says, right now I have a great balance because I have 2 kids under 2 while working full time. But back when I didn't have kids and I was a workaholic, incredible. Now we brought up the topic of workaholism, which is a core issue. Georgina, we're going to bounce over to Sarah in a moment. Georgina, can you tell us all about what you think about workaholism? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I think when you love what you do, it's very easy to focus on that. From my own experience, I think when you kind of get into something and someone else is kind of on the side, and you get very focused, I find that, it's very easy just to delve into that focus. And if it's work, then, you're going to be a workaholic, I think. I think that's where my 2 cents on that one is.
Love it. Georgina, round of applause to Georgina. We love you, and got a few things there. And we got Sarah Polyakov, who I love Sarah Polyakov. Sarah Polyakov, please react to what you've heard. I'd love to hear some of your legendary viewpoints. Tell us what you're thinking. Dangerously awesome, Sarah Polyakov.
Oh, thank you. I had to unmute myself. We have my dog here as a guest. I think this is Rue.
Oh.
This is the legendary. Come on, Rue. Oh my goodness. It's okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
there.
love Ruben.
Yeah,
Okay.
he always is. He and his brother are my shadow, so they're just here. Yeah, making their little sounds. Okay, so my reaction. I love what everybody has said, and Georgina, yes, I can relate to working until midnight. That used to be my status quo, owning a business. And I can't say that it really changed work-life balance. Well, I'm going to tell you that I don't really have a lot. It's more like sporadic. So when I worked in corporate years ago, this was my first corporate job. Our team had a weekend laptop, and that weekend laptop actually made its rounds. So everybody on the team was assigned to the weekend laptop, and it made its rounds because we had to be on call with the weekend laptop. So everybody had to give up a weekend. There were 8 of us, so every 8th weekend or so. So that's not really a good way to promote work-life balance. And I was in my early 20s, and so I was like, okay, if that's what the job wants, then that's what the job wants, and that's what the boss wants. So that kind of set a precedent for me. So working 70-hour weeks in corporate was just my normal, because I was young at the time. I was not married at the time. And so I was basically married to my work. And then I did retire from software and corporate and started my own business as a counselor during the day. And if you see my feed at all, I post my art and my poetry. So LinkedIn is my escape from my day job as a counselor, right?
Just if I can just jump in and talk about my love for LinkedIn. LinkedIn's my complete escapism turned into a profession. Carry on, Sarah.
Yes, Ed, that's exactly it. So I love LinkedIn because it is my escape to post my other love, which is combining my art and my poetry together. And then I don't have to focus on what I've heard during the day. Of course, I have absolute empathy for everybody with whom I work, but it's still my own creative escape. And I get to share what I love with people on LinkedIn, and it actually helps create balance for me, because it reminds me, okay, do those things that you love, like create a new painting, write a new poem, and then post it on LinkedIn for everybody to see if they want to see it. And LinkedIn creates work-life balance for me, funnily enough. It has turned into that. And so I love LinkedIn.
Oh, there we go. I love how we bring everything back to LinkedIn. That is just awesome. So there we go. Powerful and amazing. Sarah, I love your work. And Sonia, we're going to bounce over to legendary Sonia, who we love. And Sonia actually left a great comment on LinkedIn too. What questions for you for the boss lady? So yeah, if you've tuned in, smash that like, share, and comment from the audience. If you've got any questions, we'd love to hear it. Sonia, you are amazing, and I love Sarah's work. Master Coach Sonia, can you give us a great monologue on what you've heard so far and some of your thoughts? And keep up the great. Looks like you've been lifting. You're getting all cut and slim. I'm jealous of you. So jealous.
There's a couple takeaways I have. One, when you're in the corporate world, there is no such thing as a work-life balance. And then when you own your own business, there is not a work-life balance, because when you're in your own business, you may be so excited, you're trying to get it off the ground, you're trying to wear all the different hats to, get things going. And then, before you know it, you're working, 9 a.m. to 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning, and doing it again over again. And I personally went through that for these last 3 years, but this last year, I could not hardly bring myself to be in my office. I was burnt out. So, that's one thing. When you are a workaholic, I think Tamara mentioned her husband is, that is really detrimental to your health, because your mind is going, is so focused on getting that business going, or making that contact, or, getting that client, or whatever it may be, that you're not taking time for your personal health or self-care. And that can get away from you. Or you may not be spending time with your family or loved ones. And then, I think it's interesting, Sarah, that you have your dogs there, because having a pet is really therapeutic, because it will help de-stress you and help you keep calm. So maybe when you are so out of whack with your, whatever's going on in your world, that's going to help, kind of give you that zen, that calm. And I know that it's always been a part of my life. I couldn't function without my little rock, my fur baby. And um, and I think too, Loretta, you mentioned, there's different times in our businesses that we may be stressful or stressed more than others, and and that can be a challenge. We just have to learn how to prioritize and balance those priorities out, not try to overwhelm ourselves and do so many things in one day, which I used to try to do. I had like a to-do list, and it kept growing and growing and growing, and I wouldn't in my day until I had it all done. That might be 10, 15 things, and I'm not talking about little things like big projects. And I'm like, I don't know how I did it before, but I have no desire to do it now. I want to be, think of the quantity. The quality. Think of the quality time that you can work on whatever task that you're focused on, whether it's work or it's your business, or even as a parent, or keeping up your house. There's so much to do, but just pace yourself. And, don't try to overwhelm yourself, every day. Break it up into like a schedule, try to do certain things different days. And that will really help you have some sanity. So there's been a lot of great conversations so far, and some great takeaways.
Master Coach Sonia, love your work. Master Coach Sonia, you are amazing. Now, we're going to bounce over to Loretta Remy in just a moment. And I just got to say, my old friend Tamara Bertram, we love you, Tamara Bertram. We've known each other for about 10 years now, actually. So it's been a long time. Tamara Bertram raised a few interesting points, which I found fascinating. What does a typical workday look like when you master work-life balance? Man, I think if I just judge on a lot of the reactions and what I've heard, it's obviously different for everyone. And then Tamara Bertram makes a good leading question here. Great leading question. Have you found a job that makes it feel like you aren't working? That it's so enjoyable and adds to the work-life balance, you're excited to wake up every morning. And that perfectly sets up Loretta Remy, because I think Loretta Remy is a woman who's achieved that. Loretta Remy, take it away. Give us a legendary monologue.
So, to your question, Tamara, I think most of us who start our own businesses have a passion that, whatever our goal is, whatever we want to do, solving problems for people, creating things, whatever that might be and everything, that's our passion. And that, that's the fire that burns within us that makes us want to keep going on it. So, I think that's where you find totally different from corporate, which you can get very resentful when the boss says, I need you to do this, please finish this, or this is the deadline, and so forth. I happen to be with a guy who's also a workaholic. So the two of us get along great together, and we met in the hospitality business, which long stressful hours, weekends, holidays, all that sort of stuff. So we understand each other very well, and we know how to give each other the space when we need it. Again, like I said, my work-life balance, sometimes, when I have like a project to do or a deadline, like end of month deadline or something like that, I might spend 60% of my day on that, and only, the rest of it on myself, or, me and him. So instead of like normally I might take an hour at the end of the day and do a little meditating and do a little brain dumping, maybe I only have 20 minutes on those other nights. And then there might be other times when I just say, you know what, I'm putting my stuff aside for now, and tonight I'm going to I'm just going to spend time with him, or I'm going to read some personal development books, or maybe watch a good football game because football season's starting next week. Something like that. So yes, there's times when I'm focused on my business and it might take up more time. It doesn't mean I'm technically like kicking everything else out. It just might mean I'm giving it a little bit less. But then on the other side, there might be times when I'm giving my business a little bit less attention because I'm spending more time with family, friends, etc.
Oh, well said. And one other thing I find as well, Loretta, is do you ever find that if something dominates your life too much, one can resent it?
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
think so.
Definitely.
I think
Definitely.
so. I think-
I always stressed with especially when I was in corporate and I'd only get maybe one day off a week. I resented having to clean the house, and it just frustrated me and everything. So I said something, and my boyfriend goes, "Well, I picked up this business card," and I ended up having a wonderful housekeeper that came and cleaned my house, a couple of times a month, and took that stress right off of me and everything. So it was such a joy when she came to the house and everything. It was well worth it, and I didn't resent it having to, spend my free time having to clean and do the laundry and all that stuff. So yeah, you can get very resentful for things that you're forced to do.
Oh, Loretta, love your work. Round of applause to Loretta. Just incredible. And we're going to bounce over to amazing and wonderful, legendary Georgina shortly. And I want to react to some great comments. Tamara Bertram, you are a legend. And Tamara says this: yes, I have a business on the side to keep my music passion alive. Luckily, my day job at the University of North Dakota is also very rewarding and enjoyable. I'm also finishing my PhD, but I don't call studying work. Fantastic. Now, the next part of this, Boss Ladies, is we're going to talk about burnout. Yes, burnout. When it all happens and what it means. And Georgina, two things. Georgina, please react to what you've heard and tell us what you think about burnout. Maybe feel free to share what's happened to you if you don't mind.
There's a couple of things I'd like to comment. I believe that having a pet actually does keep, or children and having a pet does keep it balanced because you do have to look after them. Yeah. So, and then the other thing is, do we leave our day to chance or do we plan our day?
Oh,
Now, as you know, I'm big in planning, and I think, if you kind of leave it to chance, then your day's going to be quite haphazard. But if you were to plan it and put things in your diary so that I was once taught to do this method. And so if you were to color code everything in your life, for example, house, relationships, family, work, what else have we got? Fun, fitness, health, well-being, all that sort of stuff. If you were to color code all those things and then have a look at your week as to the plan of where you put those things in place. For example, you've also got there's food time and that sort of thing that you block out so that you can have time. I guess you've got a family, Ed, so you would block out time to have meals with the children and your wife, and then maybe have relationship time, so date night, that sort of thing. If you were to just leave all that stuff to chance, you'd probably find that you probably wouldn't feel everything, achieve that sort of element within your week. Okay. So if you look back on your week, you'd be going, I should have done this and I should have done that. So if you plan your week a little bit more, and Google Calendar allows you to do that because you can color code a whole different things. So in my calendar, I'll have like a whole lot of different colors for, catching up with friends, catching up with family, and family is my priority. So I would prioritize family over other stuff. So for example, today I've come back, instead of staying down at the snow, I came back today because I really wanted to be at Sam's game today. So now when we come to burnout, I believe when I was in corporate, there was an element resentment and burnout, where I was working too hard and really long hours. I think there was one job, I was a financial controller, and due to the circumstances, I was working all weekend. I would get up at 6 and I would probably leave work at 10 at night. So the burnout factor is high, and I think also too, when I first started my business was, and I was part of this marketing group that was said, well, if you're watching TV at night, get off it. You should be trying to connect with people. And so that, for me, reached a point of burnout because it wasn't fun anymore, and it wasn't really rewarding either. And to the point where you were ignoring a whole lot of other different elements in life, so you weren't getting that balance.
Wow. Well said, Georgina. I love your work, my friend. Incredible. Now, we're going to hear from amazing Sarah Polyakov shortly. However, I just got a bit of a side note, actually. I was thinking about this before, and I got to bring this up. And remember Facebook back in the day? I know Facebook and Meta is a very different company, but back in the day, remember how Facebook was being heralded as the ultimate place to work? Like, people would play ping pong. They would have their bean bags. We feed you and house you. We've got all this stuff. And for what, Facebook's Meta's getting panned today, of course. But I remember they even made a movie about it, right? But Facebook back in the day was all about, you live there, they look after you, they feed you, all the food and everything's for free. And a lot of people at the time were heralding it, and a lot of its critics, me included, were saying, hang on, this is just basically a way of capturing you. Because in other words, if you don't have to leave and we got you here all the time, we're going to get more out of you. So interesting. I just thought I'd just throw that one into the mix. But I remember back in the day, all the big media was saying, oh my God, Facebook's the best place to work. But no one's saying that anymore, which is interesting. So fascinating. Sarah Polyakov, what do you think, Sarah? We'd love to hear whatever you think about burnout, anything you want to say. Give us your wisdom.
Sure. Let's see, burnout. Oh, I will tell you that I did not experience any real burnout in my life. And I guess I'm kind of torn on whether or not to talk about this, but you know about this, Ed. So I lost my mom very suddenly this year. And she was my best friend. I mean, I have other best friends, but she was my best friend. She was a wonderful person. Lived 10 minutes away. We saw each other every day. So all the cards came toppling down when she died suddenly. It was sudden. It was within hours. And thankfully I was there. That is a true gift, that I was there. But that is when my personal house of cards came toppling down. It was obliterated. And that is when I experienced burnout for the first time in my life. And fortunately, I have a business partner who also takes clients. And so I was able to talk to my business partner, and he was able to take my client load, which was great. And so I just simply said, I need to step away until I can be effective at my job again. I really need to grieve, because I knew I had reached my limit. I was done. I was personally obliterated, and there was no way I could be effective at helping others. So that's what burnout is and was for me. It was when personal tragedy struck and you weren't even looking for it. So that's what it means to me. And I'm sure there are a million different other definitions of burnout, but that was really the first time in my life where I had to literally step back from work. Otherwise, I can be a bit of a workaholic and always go, 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 go. But that was it for me. So that's burnout.
Wow, incredible. And again, very love and prayers to your mother. She was a fine lady, and I can totally understand. It's interesting what you bring up, the whole factor of burnout and everything. And I love what you did. You actually did something about it, because one of our really good friends, he's actually talked about this publicly, so wouldn't mind me bringing this up, but one of our great friends, Trent Morris, He used to work in a high-powered corporate job. He had a burnout at work, and he actually passed out. I think he passed out at work. They actually had to send an ambulance to work to pick him up. It was that bad for this guy. Yeah, crazy. Again, he told that story publicly. It's interesting. The other thing that reminds me as well, there's this video going around on Facebook and LinkedIn, more LinkedIn, where it has high-powered figures like military officers and journalists and politicians. They get up on stage and they pass out in front of crowds of people. Have we all seen that? And fascinating, crazy. Sarah, love your work. Round of applause to you, Sarah, and love and prayers. That was a tough one for you.
Thank you.
Now we've got our next nuclear missile, Master Coach Sonia. Master Coach Sonia, what are you thinking about, my very fit friend? What's happening?
I have been thinking about burnout. Some of the things that we go through physically and mentally, and may not even be aware that it's attributed to burnout. Like being fatigued, drained, feeling that dread on that Sunday night when you have to go into work, dreading your job. And mentally, if you can't think clearly and you feel really stressed and drained and tired, you're not going to perform like you normally can when you're not stressed. And it's going to take its toll. And then when it takes its toll, it's going to lead to more problems. It's going to exacerbate signs that you may ignore, like maybe you're starting to have anxiety attacks, but maybe you might lead to having a heart attack. I went through that myself, and it's scary because when you do not listen to your body, and your body's trying to tell you to slow down, we have to take care of ourselves first, because we can't expect other people to do that. But we're the only person inside here that can tell ourselves, stop, take a step back, take a deep breath, and just control what you can. And there's, many times there are things outside of our control that we are trying to manage. Well, that was one of the biggest lessons I learned, is I had to give up things that I was not able to control and focus on what I could control, and help me, decompress, the situations in my life, and, take some time for me, give myself some VIP time, go for a walk, go for a swim, journal, talking to others, getting, it's okay if you need to go get a therapist, that's what they're there for. Or if you need a coach, like me, that's what we're here for, is to help.
Definitely
you.
Master Coach Sonia. We highly recommend Master Coach Sonia.
And so I was reading on WebMD. WebMD's a company I used to work for, and they have one of the number one sites for healthcare tips. And there's 3 R's of burnout that you can help put yourself back on track. Is the first R is recognize when you are feeling burnout. And then reverse any of the symptoms that you may be feeling, like if you have a poor appetite, or if your hair's falling out, you're not sleeping, you're not sleeping.
Maybe I should get some product from you, Loretta, huh? I probably need like a 200-gallon drum or something, but carry on, please.
Oh my gosh. You cracked me up. But anyhow, made me lose my train of thought. Thanks, Ed. Oh, the other one. So recognize the warning signs, and then reverse whatever is new that's occurring that's causing you this stress that can lead to chronic stress, and then it's going to lead to health problems or mental. And then, you know, resilience. All of us have said something about that in a different way, but the key is being able to build resilience in our own body, in our own mind, and set boundaries that we can be able to have our safe space and be able to get away from burnout occurring.
Master Coach Sonia, well said, and love your work. And it's funny, actually, tragically, I actually got a bit burnt out yesterday. So what happened was I had to go interstate on Friday. So literally, I had a 22-hour workday. So I was up at 3 a.m. and got to bed at 1 a.m. the next day. So there you go. So highly not, and surprise, surprise, I was a bit burnt out yesterday. Oh, what a shock! And what I did was, once I did all the urgent stuff and the family was away, I actually started playing one of my favorite video games, XCOM 2, where you're leading a guerrilla force. It's a huge game on. Oh, Sarah knows what I'm talking about. Sarah knows about XCOM 2. Anyway, and what happened was an hour later, I didn't feel burnt out anymore. So I love it. I think you're right. When we feel those signs of burnout, we got to do the urgent stuff, but then we got to pull back or do whatever we want to do. I agree with you, Sonia. There we go. Master Coach Sonia, amazing. Love your work. Now we're going to hear from Dangerous Loretta Remy shortly, but before we do that, I'm just going to react to some comments. We've got Jose Nicolas Valdez Burgos who goes, sorry, I'm at work on Saturday. Oh, I feel for you. There you go. Poor guy. He's at work on Saturday. Ironically, while we're talking about work-life balance. And Teresa Elizabeth Reyes. Welcome, Teresa. You should never have to give up your life or family just to be working. I agree with that, actually. I agree with that. It's a bit of a side note. Everyone remember the film Scarface? My favorite film, Scarface, with Al Pacino, Michelle Pfeiffer. Can't remember the other games. How can I not forget? Not remember the other actors, but they're all amazing. But basically, in that film, what happens is he's all about protecting his family. He ends up killing off his family in the process of protecting it. And the same script, ironically, played out in The Godfather. In The Godfather, coincidentally played by Al Pacino, he's all about protecting his family, so he kills his brother later on. Right, gotcha. I'm going to protect my family by killing my brother. Right, great job. Great job, Al Pacino. I love Al Pacino. Great job, Godfather. That's right, Michael is his name. Michael Corleone. Anyway, enough of a rant, which is all very good. But another comment from Yasmina. Burnout appears when you've decided to regulate yourself to the end. When you and your family are no longer a priority and you're last in the queue, watch out. Oh my God. And Yasmin thinks Georgina is awesome. Well, I think you're pretty observant, Yasmin, because I think Georgina is awesome too. In fact, we all love Georgina. If you don't, there's something wrong with you. So you have to love Georgina. Dr. Mazzy says, absolutely agree. It's important to schedule your priorities. And she loves the color coding. Love your work all. Now let's hear from Dangerous Loretta Remy. What do you think of all this stuff? And I know you're Italian. I had to bring up Godfather and Al Pacino, who are Al Pacino's the best actor ever. Al Pacino.
So when I was working at the resort, it was funny because it started when I got promoted to management. It started out like, 8-9 hour shifts, and they somehow ended up going to like 14-hour shifts. Or more and stuff. I mean, when you're at a resort, it's open 365 days a year, and it's open pretty much. I was in food and beverage, so 6 in the morning until somewhere 1, 2, 3 in the morning when the bar shut down and stuff. At the same time, I was climbing the corporate ladder, so I thought this was all the way it was supposed to be and stuff. So I didn't realize how much I was in it and how burnt out I was until I got out of that job and stepped away and I could actually breathe again. And then I realized what I was doing to myself. And, now I think I'm far smarter to realize the signs and everything. But sometimes when you're in it, you're so far in it, you can't even realize, what you're doing, because at the time it kind of all made sense to me that, oh, well, yeah, I'm a little tired, but that's because it's a busy week, or, there's a lot going on, or, I had a lot of excuses and stuff. But once I stepped away, then I had the time to look back and say, whew, That was a little toxic.
Yeah. Well, it's working 6 to 1 a.m. Yeah, all the time. All the time. I mean, if you do it here and there, fine. But doing it all the time, man, I think you've defined toxic. But good for you in red pilling yourself and waking up to it, Loretta Remy. There we go. And a few reactions. Georgina Orchard, we love you, Georgina Orchard. Georgina Orchard has left some great comments, which of course she can expand on. And Dr. Masai says, what's your definition of burnout? That's a good definition. My take of burnout is when you run out, there's nothing left. I think that would be the case on it. And we've got Gweno Defard with us. Burnout is not something that happens on a day. It's a slow build-up over several months of unrelenting stressful activity. Amazing. Now, my friends, we've had a great Boss Ladies time. We've got about 5 minutes left. So what we're going to do is, if you've got any final questions or thoughts from the audience, pop it in the chat. And of course, as well, please connect with these ladies. It's very important that you connect with them on LinkedIn. And a big shout out to Lassie, who created the concept, our other panelists who aren't here today, and Christina Navo. Christina Navo's daughter's giving birth. And I can't believe she popped in, and thank you for that. She's literally in the hospital next to her daughter. So call that dedication. But she said she won't give birth during the live stream. So there you go. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to closing thoughts. We're going to go through all our panelists and get a quick closing thought from them and give them an opportunity to promote themselves and get them to tell us a little bit about what they do. So Georgina Orchard, we love you. Please give us a quick closing thought and tell us what you do and how you help people.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you and Lassie for bringing this up. And I think it's a really worthwhile topic. And all the different elements that you've brought up today, there's a burnout and time, having time to do things. And is work-life balance an actual concept, or is it a furphy? I think it's a love to have, but it all comes down to choice. So I recommend that you look at time management and putting things in your calendar that actually light you up, because at the end of the day, and also having someone to hold you accountable, I think that's always worth it, so that you kind of get to that point and you have that person that's dedicated to that, that says, hey, I think you've gone too far this way. I think that would be worthwhile. What I do, I'm a business strategist, and one of the things that I love to get people to do, and not everyone loves doing it, is planning. And planning comes down and helping you with time management. It helps you to, live your life according to what lights you up. And at the end of the day, when you leave this earth, you don't want to have any regrets. So if you were to look back on your life and say, I have lived a life worth living, I have done what I thought was worth doing, and I lived according to my values. If you need help with that, connect with me. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm also on Facebook and on Instagram, and I'm part of Ed's network. So if you need help with time management, planning, or any sort of business strategy, connect with me. Thank you. And thank you for having me us as part of the show.
Georgina, round of applause to Georgina. And friends, you heard it. Connect with Georgina Orchard. Amazing lady. And we actually live about 10 minutes away from each other, which is kind of funny. That we go. We only catch up once every 5 years, but we live like 10 minutes away. So there you go. I can literally jog to your house in about 25 minutes. Funny. We've got Anna with us. Anna Goldsky. Love your work, Anna. Now over Sarah. Sarah, please, we'd love to hear your closing thoughts, Sarah, and tell us a bit about what you do if you so wish to. Awesome, Sarah.
Sure. Well, I wanted to thank everybody here for their wisdom first. And I love what you said, Georgina, about booking out that time in your calendar, because that can probably be one of the top things that you can do for yourself, is booking out time for self-care. And I love what Sonia said about listening to the body. And she talked about the routine that she's doing right now, which appears to be life-changing. And I love what you had to say, Loretta. So thank you for all the wisdom that you guys have shared today. I've learned a lot. And so much gratitude from me. And as for what I do right now, I'm in a transition point where I am working less with clients during the day, and I'm focusing more on writing. So you'll see some of my writing soon in a book called Mission Faith. It's part of a Mission Hope series. So be on the lookout for that. And I'm also working on another project that has to do with self-development. So that's also in the works, and be on the lookout for that. And I appreciate all of you so much. And everybody who came today, thank you.
Oh, Sarah Polyakov, thank you so much. We love your work. And that is Sarah Polyakov. Make sure you connect with her, everyone. And now we're going over to Master Coach Sonia, who is busy shattering the sky as always. Master Coach Sonia, why are you so awesome, Master Coach Sonia? You need to tell us why. As you find your unmute key. There we go.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was trying to find my unmute.
Oh.
Well,
I use Zoom about 5 times a week, and every time I forget how to use it, where's the unmute key? I'm like that all the time. So I'm worse than you, Master Coach Sonia. There we go.
I have some exciting news. I have been asked to speak at an Entrepreneur Summit, which is global leaders, therapists, coaches, and I'll be speaking in Hawaii. So I'm super excited about that. And it's for the whole summit is based around health and wellness for your mind, your body, and your financial wellness for maybe your business or your position in your life. And so I'm putting the link in the in there for everybody, because there are different packages available. You can also watch it virtually from anywhere, and so it's going to be a really awesome event. It'll be life-changing, and I'll also be part of a book that will be coming out in October. It's basically how to help leaders and coaches and therapists be successful in their lives through the wellness perspective. And then and I've been doing a lot of coaching lately, so I have some new coaching programs that if anyone is interested in doing that, I'll put in my, just message me here on LinkedIn, and I can share with you what I do, or if you want to get certified as a life coach. I also teach that, and once I get at least 2 to 3 people in a group, then I'll go ahead and offer the class. But get on my list if you're interested in coaching or becoming a coach, or if you'd like to come see me in Hawaii. I'd love to have you.
Master Coach Sonia Badro, we love your work, Master Coach Sonia. Incredible. Big thank you. And last but not least, dangerously awesome Loretta Remy. Please, closing thoughts, and tell us what you do, Loretta Remy.
So always love these because I like hearing the different perspective. It's always a little, it's always nice to hear how other people see things, whether it's different from you or the same, especially since we're kind of all over the place as far as worldwide. And I am a self-confidence ambassador. I know the importance of first impressions, and whether that's for business, leadership, or even relationships. And I want to help you be the best and have the best first impression with gorgeous hair, flawless skin, and wellness from within. So if you want to talk about that, just hit me up on LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook, and I'd be happy to help.
Oh, Loretta Remy, powerful and brilliant as always. I'm going to say, I love your work, everyone. Now, I just want to say a big wracking up the Boss Lady Summit. Thank you for coming. Make sure you connect with Georgina Orchard, Sarah Polyakov, Master Coach Sonia Badro, Loretta Remy, also Lassie, who created, and our other panelists. And the other interesting honorable mention too is we had Christina Nava at the start, and her daughter is a giving baby in the next day or two, which is exciting. And there you go. And to also all of the people who joined as well, please make sure you connect with each other on LinkedIn, and I love your work. So friends, please make some noise for our panelists wherever you are in the world. Love your work, everyone, and stay awesome. Thank you all. keep up the legendary greatness.